Okay, how is everyone? This is another take, multiple pre-takes, just trying to get things working with the lighting. Obviously, as you can see, lighting is not too great. The camera's not really picking up what I'm picking up, so oh well, technology. But this is Moku from the ROM HQ, thus ROM, giving you some April update on what's going on. Now, as some people saw, there's a couple of things, couple of little explanation or showings or previews of this pad of peace that's happening. That little project I spoke about or hinted about after stories. Of course, as I said, voice acting is going to be better. I know how to get in the zone now, and not to get to lack of concentration or lack of caffeine. Both, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, trying to bring the hype back when it comes to voice acting, and when it comes to this parody, I want to get it right. So, so far, what can I say? The frames themselves, storyboard frames and all that, they have been set and somewhat complete. I say somewhat because there's a couple of things I need to check in game to have better references. I do want to get some, not being too huge on the accuracy of the drawing, meaning I'm not going to be like making extreme fine art pieces, yet I do want to get certain locations on the dot. And so there's that, a couple of in-game researches, and at the same time the voice acting is going to begin, so editing is going to come to play. Yet, at least with the technique of just going at it every night, doing a small part every night, a tad little bit of every night, then everything seems to come into place. It is taking a tad bit longer because, again, there's been a couple of questioning, self-questioning and things going true. And it mostly comes in the form of, it's not self-worth, but it was a bit of, okay, well, trying to get further with the financial situation because I wanted that animation paper, and all that just quickly resolved when it's like, well, wait a second. I might as well break it down, okay? Quick little thing. There was always this thought of, okay, well, I want this beast mode animation paper because it is the paper I had when I did that best work. And at that point, I'm like, well, okay, so I gotta earn extra revenues to get that, right? And this whole thing of just trying to think, well, then I gotta add more stuff on my plate, I gotta, attempt to do more commissions, or I gotta attempt to add more contracts on top of the balanced amount of contracts that I have. And then that whole thought slumped into, well, then maybe I'm not good enough for commissions and blah, blah, blah. And everything kind of slumped with that stupid initial thought. And I'll say it's stupid because basically it never needed to happen. Basically just saying, okay, well, wait. One, dumbass, just set aside some money after a contract is done, and then you'll freaking get that paper. So the order has been made because I recently cleared a contract, and basically I'm getting that animation paper, and at the same time I'm always saving an amount of what I've received on a separate account. So, and I do not want to touch that account, but that still happens, and it's like, well, wait, if I can save up at this point in this method, then why in the name of hell am I not doing it for the paper? So like the whole slump kind of just vanished at this point because, well, double up on the previous thought, there came the point where it's like, well, wait a second, am I not good enough? Dude, add some extra time on the current contracts or manageable contracts and give them even more quality, because I'm learning at the same time as I'm doing them, and if I add more time, then I'll learn some new technique, thus add more value to them, thus more quality. And it's like, well, okay. And it was kind of funny just reflecting back on that moment where it's like, well, what just happened there? I kind of nearly destroyed myself again for just stupid, well, there is stupid financial management or understanding because, I wanted that paper. I internally wanted it, but I guess I never really said I need that paper somehow. Like, there was always this thought of, as an artist, I do not want to be bound by the material. And I guess this is why I was forcing myself to go digital. But came up to a point, as we previously went into the last vlog. I love that material, and it helped me do some great work. So go get it, dumbass. And you'd better save up to get that. And boom, that's where it happened. But it was kind of odd just going through that whole thing. And the worst part is, something else that kind of came up is seeing everything that's been happening in the gaming sphere. A couple of the incidents happening in the gaming spheres. That was even more material I wanted to add to Extra Stage. And when it comes to Extra Stage, and I'll be blunt with everyone, there is going to be an HD remake. Like, that first volume looks like ass, but it's been like 7 years, so I obviously want to remake it or add some more stuff. And when I say remake, I say I'm gonna add some new stuff. I'm gonna take a crack at this whole HD thing, okay? But all these ideas are flooding in, which is like, okay, well, let's take a break, let's take a pause, and write down everything that's coming up, and two, I gotta scheduleize that, or make a schedule for that. Thus, one, first things first, Path of Peace, it's already started. I'm gonna finish it, so that arc has to go, and that arc is a set deadline, or a set timeline, let's say. And then two, everything that I want to add for this Extra Stage thing, well, let's make a schedule. Let's try to make a schedule and see if I can fit it in. On top of the extra time, I'm going to add to the manageable contracts that I have. So instead of overwhelming myself, it's like, okay, well, priority, and then we'll see what goes. If I'm able to pull out an Extra Stage page once per 2 weeks, I'd be happy with that. I would come up with an anthology. I do not know when, but I know that once the Path of Peace type of ends, if I don't jump into the... Oh, whoa, was about to spoil a couple of things. But, and the worst part is, I know I'm going to jump into that. I'll find a way to manage things, okay? I'll find a freaking way to manage it. All of this kind of just brings into the glee that working just brings, or working on these brings. Especially when it comes to ideas that I can constantly, let me open the door, or window if you want to say, just to get some air in. But it's the glee I get from working on these. Like this, I can't stop just gleeing because I know there's a specific music I want to add to this. I know it's for the cheese factor. And I like the cheese factor, and I'm hoping that some people will like that same kind of cheese factor, you know? And this just kind of keeps me going, every night. Even when there's some nights where I'm like, okay, I'm too tired. I don't want to work on these frames, or I don't want to jump into some editing. I remember the cheese factor. And I'm like, okay, well, some people are going to enjoy that same cheese factor. So, sparks the motivation. When it comes for that extra little project, which I've spoken to a couple of people about, there always comes a point where I go outside, I listen to music, and I made a specific playlist for it, and it keeps me into that zone where I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do it so badly. So, it's an odd way to keep motivated. Well, not really an odd way, it's a logical way to keep motivated, but hey, doing chunks every night really helps, and keeping those motivational factor is double the help, because at this point I just get something that'll help me get back into that mood of working into it. I know I'm saying it in a very, very disjointed way, and hell, some people may have a much better way of saying it, but it's just keeping that motivation sparked with a couple of elements tying up to that project, or just elements of the project itself, and like keeping those reminders close to you. Either storyboarding frames, either music, or either reference quotes that you made, just to keep into that zone, and at least doing a chunk every night or every day, will help. Definitely help. So it's been tough, but again, it's finding that balance between all of that and trying to go on, go on with a balanced life, because you can't just dump all your time onto, let's say, your own personal projects, but at the same time, you want to give you want to give time to those projects. You want to give time to your personal life. You want to give time to your social life. It's a balancing act, and the more you master it, the better things go. I still got a long way to go when it comes to that, but hey, with the last understandings or the understanding of the previous months, things are much better, and I'm starting to walk ahead with these. And again, want to bring those schedules to fruition. I want to bring those contracts to fruition. I want to give the best I can to the rewarding contracts and the teams I'm working with. I want to give the max, because I feel, I don't know, like it's like KOF, you feel like part of a team, and you're like, okay, well, I want to give the maximum to this round so that the team is able to advance to the next match, So I don't want to use that super move bar, and I want to make sure that I win with as much health, so that the team doesn't need to be okay, well, that's the worst analogy, but it's like sacrifice my health bar for some more time on the clock. No, that's Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Let's not talk about that. Anyhow, but it's feeling part of a team, trying to give the maximum to the team without impeding on the team's decision. Like having that balance going on. So balance. It's kind of nuts, but hey, you try. If it doesn't work, take note, see what happens, and yada yada yada, right? See what happens, understand why it happened that way or why it didn't work, and then you keep going. And it's the same thing for drawing, Don't feel discouraged. Life, drawing, everything just seems to be the same kind of philosophy. It's interesting. Anyhow, that's about it for March updates. When it comes to the Pad of Peace, I will give more updates on the Facebook page and Instagram, so if you want, keep in check there. Sculpting class has been going great. I'll see if I can do some more updates on that, because the class first semester has ended, and that's about it. That's about it. So, Pad of Peace, first cameo. It's going to be great. I won't spoil it. I'll tell you when it's out. Well, it's going to be on the playlist. And that's it. I'm out. Back to work, people. Later, and thanks again for your patience and comments. What can I say about this one? I'm still battling between perspective and cartoony proportions, so I know I'm going to have another shot at this drawing. I don't know, I might make it a tad bit more extreme. You'll see it on the final version, or you'll see it on Patreon. In the meantime, thanks again. I will see you later at the ROM HQ.